and perhaps how it's interpreted these days. It's when I talk about dyslexia, I think of it as an umbrella term that covers a number of different learning difficulties. I don't call them disabilities because I don't see them as that. But dyslexia can affect many areas of our life. It can be the reading and the writing, as many of us know and are familiar with. Perhaps the thought that letters and symbols, numbers get flipped around and misread. But dyslexia has a flip side to it, to the coin. The other side of the coin is the gift. It's the same thing that creates the challenges that actually is part of the gift. So if a dyslexic can flip letters and numbers around, they can flip other things around and see things very from many different perspectives. For example, if you think of a tree, it doesn't really matter what way you look at a tree. You can look at it from the top or the side, or from the bottom up, or the top down, or just from a branch. It doesn't matter, but because it's a three-dimensional object in reality. But it really matters if you try and do that to your letters and your words, because letters and words are two-dimensional, so you get easily confused. And that's where it all starts. It's this wonderful ability to be able to think three-dimensionally before you go to school. That's how you solve your problems and figure things out. And then you get to school and you're trying to do the same thing, two words on a page. You just get confused. So that is perhaps dyslexia in a nutshell. But then of course it affects many other areas of life. When you start learning to read, you are struggling. You're probably a very bright little kid, and you look at your friends around you and they seem to be having no trouble and you're having difficulties. So the next thing that can happen is your self-esteem will get affected. And this obviously goes on to have an emotional effect. Then you can get a lot of young children, well, not a lot, a few young children really don't like school, and this can often be the reason why. It's because they aren't doing as well as they really are capable of doing, and they don't understand why that is. And then of course you go on, you might learn to read a little bit, but when you're starting, the first words that you're starting to learn to read will be sight words. Words like and the and are. And because you're a picture thinker, these words, you can't make pictures of them. You can make a picture of tree, elephant, house. You know exactly what those things are. So when you read, you might be able to read those words and understand them, but when you come to try to read the sight words or the Dolch list, you get confused. So you'll read and you'll misunderstand what you read. It won't make sense. You won't comprehend. You'll be trying so hard. You'll be concentrating, and the whole thing will be painful, and then you might just throw in the towel and throw the pencil or the book or kick the kid next to you. Or not, of course, not all dyslexics end up responding like that. Some go inward and become very quiet and hope they'll never get asked a question. Others will respond with behaviours. Yeah, so that's kind of the beginning of dyslexia. And do you have any questions, John, about